Yo, what is up, guys? It is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, back again today with another fantasy football mock draft on Sleeper app. Today, we are doing a 10-team PPR draft from whatever slot I randomly fucking click on. Once we get into the video, the roster settings are 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 receivers, a tight end flex kicker, and 6 bench spots. We're going to get right into the goddamn video, but before we do that, I'd like to ask you guys to please click the subscribe button that's down at the bottom right of your screen down here, or that's even down below. Go down below, click that goddamn subscribe button to get notified for every single video I make every single day. There's gonna be a shit ton of videos coming out. And if you want to win your league, you're not gonna want to miss these videos. Someone yesterday brought up that we should do maybe a listener league, a subscriber league. So let me know if you guys would be interested in doing a subscriber league. But let's get right into the goddamn draft here. We'll do it from the 5 spot right in the middle. And we are going to begin the draft right now. Alright, so the first pick is Ezekiel Elliott, followed by Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, CMC. So Ezekiel Elliott said that he's going to hold out during training camp, which really doesn't mean that much. The only thing I'm kind of worried about is that they said that they were going to sue him, the guy that he hit, I believe, or like pushed or whatever at that bar. So that is something to worry about. But besides that, I'm pretty confident that I think even if Zeke misses training camp or even part of training camp to try to get that new contract, that he's still going to be a solid running back. Like he doesn't really need to be there the whole training camp, but that doesn't really matter. He's already got the rapport with the team, so it should be fine. So it is our pick at 5. Like we always say here, I like to go running back because I'm a big running back guy. And that's just how it do. So we're gonna go running back at 5. But if you wanted to get one of those top 2 receivers, not Melvin Gordon, D Hop or Devontae Adams, you'd have to go them at the 5 spot here because they're not coming back to you. And if you want Travis Kelsey, you may be able to wait, but he also may not come back to you. And like I always say, in 10-team leagues or 8-team leagues, the tight end. Sorry if you just heard that. The tight end position is a lot more important because everyone's going to have stacked running backs. Everyone's going to have stacked receivers, but not everyone's going to have a stacked number 1 tight end or number 2 or number 3 tight end like Kittle and Ertz. So let's get it. With that being said, that we are going to go with the number 1 running back. That's on the board right now. He's my number 5. That's why we're picking him at 5. He's who I'd pick over a receiver, but I can't hate you if you were to go D Hop or Devontae Adams. So let me know in the comments what you guys think, what you would have done here. Let's go David Johnson. So after we went DeAndre Hopkins, after we went to David Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins went, followed by Devontae Adams, Julio Jones, Melvin Gordon, Joe Mixon, Michael Thomas, Odell Beckham Jr., Lev Bell, James Conner, Travis Kelsey. So you probably would have had to have picked Travis Kelsey. You would have had to pick Travis Kelsey there if you wanted him before he comes back to you in the second round. And as I always say, the big 3 tight ends, Kelsey, Ertz, Kittle, are going to go in the first 3 picks. So that's what we're trying to do, or that's what's going to happen every single time. They're all going to be gone the first 4 rounds. So if you want one of those guys, you have to jump on them early. Personally, I don't like doing that, but that's how it works. So we got our stud running back, so we're going to go with our stud receiver now. And normally I go Juju in this situation because I think Juju has top 5 potential and all that shit, but I also think Antonio Brown has top 5 potential. I don't think Antonio Brown's as safe, and normally I preach safety. But I do think that Antonio Brown could end up being even the 4th best receiver in fantasy this year, just like I think Juju can. So we're going to go Antonio Brown here to diversify our teams, like I always say to do. So we went AB. Juju went after, followed by Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, Dalvin Cook, Damian Williams, Aaron Jones, Mike Evans, and Keenan Allen. So after our pick, like I said, Todd Gurley went, who's a guy you don't want to be drafting due to his knee injury. I've said that millions of times. Hopefully you know that if you're a subscriber of mine. If you're not a subscriber of mine, click the subscribe button so that you can understand some of these things I talk about a lot. Dalvin Cook's also a guy that's off my board. I had someone argue with me about how Dalvin Cook is good and stuff. Yeah, he is good, but I'm not going to draft some guy who gets injured every single year and plays 15 games in 2 years total. That's not even 1 full season in 2 years combined, where I think a lot of guys are more safer. So Aaron Jones, that was kind of a reach for Aaron Jones over guys like Leonard Fournette, Marlon Mack, Devontae Freeman. You're not normally going to see Aaron Jones get picked that high, but a lot of praise was shown to Aaron Jones, so you could see how that would happen. So it's our pick And the wide receivers look pretty good in the fourth round normally, so I'm pretty confident at waiting on that position. So we are just going to go running back here. Load up on the running backs, and if one of those tight ends falls to us at the fourth round spot, that's who we're going to go. But we are going to go running back here. So the best running back on the board here is probably Leonard Fournette, but as I always say, don't draft guys with injury problems. Marlon Mack also kind of has injury problems, but not as much, and I'm more confident in Marlon Mack not getting hurt. Leonard Fournette also does off the field shit stupid, like he didn't show up to team pictures and all other stupid shit. He's just does not make smart decisions. Now he's a great football player, but he can't stay healthy either, and for that reason, we're going to go Marlon Mack here. After we went Marlon Mack, T.Y. Hilton comes off the board, followed by Leonard Fournette, Patrick Mahomes, Adam Thielen, Derrick Henry, Devonta Freeman, Amari Cooper, George Kittle, A.J. Green. So, things to point out, like I said, in the first 4 rounds, the big three tight ends are going to go because we're going to go the other tight end, which is Ertz. But Patrick Mahomes also went in the third round. Now, at your at-home draft, he may go at pick 1 or 2, or not pick 1 or 2, but like in the first 2 rounds typically, because a lot of people will be like at your at home draft might be thinking, oh, Mahomes scores a shit ton of points, so I'm gonna go him. But that doesn't really matter to me. I don't think this year he'll probably finish as the quarterback one, but the difference between him and a guy like Luck or Rodgers won't be that high in my opinion. So that's why I wouldn't want to go with a first, second, third, fourth round pick with on a guy like Pat Mahomes when I can get some guy later or in the middle rounds like a guy like Matt Ryan or Drew Brees, who I feel is very safe in like the 7th round. So it is our pick, and like I said, we are gonna go tight end here because I want to see how the team ends up if we go Zach Ertz. I wouldn't hate going Zach Ertz in this position in a 10-team league, especially because, like I said, the having one of those great tight ends is gonna boost you immensely because every position, like the guy I'm going to draft in the 5th round if it was a receiver, is probably going to be like Robert Woods or Calvin Ridley. How much better is Robert Woods, or how much better is a guy like Stefon Diggs than Robert or AJ Green than Robert Woods and Kenny Galladay, guys like that? Not that much different. But a tight end, say Ertz, is probably going to be scoring a lot more points than even a guy like T.J. Hawkinson, a guy like Austin Hooper, the bottom guys, or even a guy like Hunter Henry. He's going to be scoring a lot more points every week than those guys. So that's why we're going to go Ertz here. Hopefully Ertz can stay healthy. He proved he could last year. I believe he played all 16, I think. I mean, it's not going to show me now because why would it? That would make too much sense. But he seems to have been able to stay healthy the past couple of years and not be as injury prone as I believe he was in the past. So for that reason, we're going Zach Ertz here. After we went Zach Ertz, the computer fucked up, so you just click that, and that should be fixed. Nope. It's going to go fucking stupid. So we're just going to just keep clicking, keep clicking. Sometimes Sleeper does this, which is okay, because we can just keep manually let the CPU auto pick, which is fine. So it's our pick. And after we went Zach Ertz, David Montgomery went, followed by Andrew Luck, Philip Lindsay, Julian Edelman, Tyreek Hill, Brandon Cooks, Mark Ingram, Calvin Ridley. So the second quarterback comes off the board in the 4th round. That's pretty typical. You're going to see Mahomes, Luck, and all those kind of guys going like the 3rd through 5th round, pretty typically. Or even earlier, maybe in your at-home draft. But in these mocks, that's how I've been seeing it. And some other things to point out here. Now, Tyreek Hill got picked in the 5th round, and now it seems like Tyreek Hill may not get suspended 8 games or 6 games like I previously thought. Maybe it'll be 4. Maybe it'll even be 2. Maybe it'll be 1. It seems like it may be lower than we have previously thought. So that is going to be pretty good at the 5th round if he only gets suspended 2 games and you're going to have a guy all year that's going to be great. Pairing him with a guy like Patrick Mahomes, him and Patrick Mahomes together was a stack that was deadly last year and I think could be deadly this year. And that's about it. So we are going to want to go with probably a running back here due to the fact that I think the running backs are going to fall off potentially before we pick. So we're going to go with... Actually, no. I think that Kenyon Drake will fall to us. So I think we'll be fine to just go receiver here. So in my opinion, the best receiver on the board right now between Diggs, Galladay, Woods, Godwin, Kupp, Lockett, Jarvis, guys like that, I think Stefon Diggs is the best. Personally, because Minnesota, while last year they weren't the best team, I think they could be better with Kirk after another year of Kirk being in the system. And I think that Stefon Diggs is going to be pretty solid this year, just like he was last year. And I'm pretty confident. I wouldn't be as confident with him as my wide receiver one, but when I already have a great receiver, one of the best in the league in real life, Antonio Brown on my team, I think Stefon Diggs should be pretty safe this year, barring injury, obviously. But it's hard to predict injury on guys who aren't too injury prone, like Stefon Diggs. After we went Stefon Diggs, Sony Michel comes off the board, followed by Kenny Galladay, Josh Jacobs, Robert Woods, Chris Godwin, Chris Carson, Aaron Rodgers, Kenyon Drake, Tyler Lockett, Baker Mayfield. So now it's our pick. And we're probably going running back. But things to point out, two more quarterbacks have went. So four quarterbacks have been taken so far before the sixth round. Now in your at-home draft, that may be like 5 or 6 at this point. Due to the fact that that's how a lot of people play. They draft quarterbacks too high. Unless you're in like an expert league or like with a bunch of people who are good at fantasy, like I always say, that's what tends to happen. If you're playing, same thing with if you're playing in a high money league, like if you're playing for hundreds of dollars, people are less likely to go quarterback early. So now it's our pick, and I did say I was going to go the running back position, and the best running back here available here is not even much of a running back in real life. This guy, his name is James White. You probably know who he is, the Super Bowl god himself, Super Bowl winning god. I don't fucking like him though because he's on the Patriots, but in fantasy he's good because he's pretty much not even a running back. He's a receiver. He's going to be catching 7 passes a game. He'll probably get 3 touches, and as you can see by clicking on his thing, he had games that were pretty fucking good. It's 20 points, 20 points, 15 points, and he seems like he's going to score you 10 to 15 points every single game. And I'm pretty confident in getting a guy like James White in that situation. So, and with the target going away of Gronk, I think that James White may even see more production, especially with a guy like Sony Michel being on their team who now is injured and is going to have a problem because he's dealing with that knee injury. So we're going, or leg injury. So we're going with James White here. After we went James White, Hunter Henry went, followed by DJ Moore, Tariq Cohen, Jarvis Landry, Cooper Kupp, Alshon Jeffrey, Evan Ingram, Deshaun Watson, and now it's our pick. So the running backs on the board right now are not looking too sexy, so I think we can just wait till the next round and just go running back instead of reaching for Lamar Miller here. And the quarterback position is looking pretty good here, so I think we're just going to go with quarterback because Matt Ryan fell to us. Even though in a 10-team league, it is about 90, or in a 10 or 18 league, it's about 90 times easier to stream a quarterback. Now, if you're in like a 12-team league, it's going to be harder due to the fact that some people have 2 quarterbacks, like a starter and some guy on their bench. Some people may even take 3. So there's not going to be that many guys, like maybe 10 guys on your wire that are actual starting quarterbacks in the NFL. But in a 10-team league, you're looking at like 10, 12, 15 guys on the waiver wire that you could pick up. So not as needed to go like someone who you're really going to be locked in with week in and week out. But having that confidence in a guy you can lock in and week out unless they're playing like a great defense is ideal in my opinion. So that's why we're going to go Matt Ryan here. Now Matt Ryan plays 13 dome games out of 16 games in your fantasy season. So 16 games in your fantasy season. If you're playing 17 games in your fantasy season, then tell your commissioner to change that shit because it should be 16, not 17. But Matt Ryan is good because he is going to have those 13 out of 16 home games, like I stated. And that's really good. 13 out of 16, not home games, indoor games, because it's easier to pass the ball indoors. And it should mean that it's easier to throw the ball. And that is obviously great for fantasy. So that's why we're going to go with Matt Ryan here. He was the number 2 fantasy wide receiver last year. So I'm pretty confident that he could do pretty similarly well this year. So that's why we're going to go with Matt Ryan here. He may not even fall this far in your at-home draft, like I said, but for this, we're going to pick Matt Ryan. So after we go Matt Ryan, Tevin Coleman comes off the board, followed by Drew Brees, O.J. Howard, Eric Ebron, Tyler Boyd, Lamar Miller, Darrell Henderson, Sammy Watkins, Christian Kirk, Rashad Penny. So now it's our pick, and A lot of tight ends have went, but we already have our tight end in Zach Ertz, so that's a-okay. And currently, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people have picked quarterbacks, including us. But none of that matters because we're going running back here, and we're going to hope that Sanders falls to us so we can go with Latavius Murray here. Latavius Murray, like I say in every single video, he's a guy I'm targeting in every single draft, so you should be targeting him because he has that flex. You can flex him all year, right? Because he's going to be getting touches, he's going to score touchdowns, just like Mark Ingram. He's in the Mark Ingram role from last year. And then when if Alvin Kamara was ever to go down, then this guy is gonna absolutely eat it up because he'll be the number one on the team. Obviously, if Alvin Kamara was to go down, and he's gonna run all over teams. He's proven Latavius Murray has proven that he's a good NFL back from years past, and that I think that if Kamara was to go down, that he'd end up being a top 12 guy in fantasy. So that's why we're gonna go Latavius Murray. After we went Latavius Murray, Mike Williams went off the board, followed by Robbie Anderson, Darius Geis, Sterling Shepard, Dante Pettis, Jared Cook, Allen Robinson, Kareem Hunt. So our guy Miles Sanders fell to us. So it's pretty important to stack up on running backs, in my opinion, because finding good receivers on the waiver wire is easy, and even easier in a 10-team league. So getting a guy at a position where it's harder to find that skill position is obviously going to be better. So stashing running backs is better for that reason. So we are going to be going running back here, and we're going to go with Miles Sanders because I know that the receivers later will still be fine, and I know that a guy like Miles Sanders could end up being someone who I want to start week in and week out in my flex if say James White doesn't work out and gets hurt, or if one of my guys gets hurt, because at the beginning of the season, Miles Sanders is probably going to be stuck in that committee. Might be like the number 2 guy. But once a few weeks comes in, they're going to realize that they spent a high draft pick on Miles Sanders and that they need to use him because he's better than every other running back on that roster. So for that reason, I like to draft. That's why I like to draft Miles Sanders. Now, not everyone's going to love Miles Sanders, so that's why he's at the price he's at right now, which is good for fantasy because you can get him later in the draft. So, we are going to be going with Miles Sanders for those reasons. Bada bing, bada boom. Step inside the room. So, after we went Miles Sanders, Will Fuller went, followed by Ronald Jones, N'Keal Harry, Larry Fitz, Vance McDonald, Kyler Murray, Jordan Howard, John Allison, Austin Eckler, and the Bears defense. So like I always say, don't draft the Bears defense early. It's not worth reaching. I guess I'm okay with it, but I personally wouldn't do it because you can just stream defenses. I'm going to explain how to do that later in the video, and many of you may already know how to do that, but not everyone will, obviously. So it's my pick, and we're going to go receiver, like I said, because we've stacked running backs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 running backs, only 2 receivers. So we're going to get some solid receivers later that could be flex plays because pretty much every single week, unless Antonio Brown and Stephen Diggs are going to get hurt, they're going to be in my lineup. Or unless AB decides to be a diva and ends up getting fucking benched or some shit. So we're going to go with Marvin Jones here, a safe guy who I think could end up having a similar year to Kenny Golladay this year and goes likely 5 rounds later. Where did Golladay go in this one? Golladay went to 5-7. We're getting Marvin Jones pretty much 5 rounds later at the 10-6. He's a pretty good receiver. He proved that last year. And Stafford is probably going to... He might be even more open than last year because of Hawkinson. Since Golden Tate is also gone, now he's going to be the 2 on the team, or maybe even the 1. Who knows? So we're going to go with Marvin Jones here. After we went Marvin Jones, Royce Freeman, LaShawn McCoy, Carson Wentz, David Njoku, Russell Wilson, Cam Newton, Corey Davis, Marquez Valdes-Scantling go. So in this draft, we're not picking a backup quarterback, obviously, because you don't need a backup quarterback when you draft a guy like Matt Ryan, and you're in a 10-team league, so you can easily just pick up a running back later. So we're gonna go a quarterback later. So we're gonna go receiver again, and we're gonna go with a guy whose name is. Ooh, this is actually hard because normally a lot of these guys are gone by now, typically. So D.D. Westbrook, Cortland Sutton, D.K. Metcalf, Golden Tate, Kiki Cootie, Curtis Samuels are all guys that I look at in the back of the draft. And right now, I find it hard to determine which guy I like here more. Do I want Kiki more? Do I want Curtis Samuel more? Do I want Colton Sutton more? D.D. Westbrook or DK Metcalf? I don't want Golden Tate because I don't know what he's going to do on the Giants. And I don't think they have good enough quarterback to warrant drafting anyone besides Saquon and Evan Ingram and Sterling Shepard. I don't think that they can sustain that many good fantasy players. So for that reason, that's why I do that. And I kind of just want to go with upside here and go with a guy like DK Metcalf who can potentially have a fucking great season of just running straight and being wide open in the end zone or being open in the end zone and then Russell Wilson making the great pass to him. But we're not going to do that because another guy that has super high upside is D.D. Westbrook. DK Metcalf could fall to us. D.D. Westbrook had flashes last year of greatness with Blake Bortles throwing the ball. Now, I know that I'm a Blake Bortles truther. I like Blake Bortles, and I don't think he's as bad as people cut it out to be. But obviously, Big Dick Nick Foles is better than Blake Bortles. That's pretty clear. And D.D. Westbrook has the potential to be a great receiver this year, as being probably the number one receiver at Jacksonville with a great quarterback. So that's why we're going to D.D. Westbrook. After we went D.D. Westbrook, Carlos Hyde went followed by Jalen Samuels, Colton Sutton, LA defense, Jags defense, DK Metcalf, Dante Foreman, Damian Harris, Austin Hooper, Jared Goff. So we get one more pick, or we get two more picks before we pick our kicker and defense. So we're gonna go with running back first because I don't know if he'll fall to me, and I don't want to risk losing this guy, and that's Peyton Barber. Now, Peyton Barber, I talk about him a lot because he could end up being the one on Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay is going to have a lot of scoring opportunities. So if he ends up being the one, he could just end up running in fucking a shit ton of touchdowns because the Tampa Bay defense sucks ass, and they're going to be just always on offense. And they have a great coach in Bruce Arians, so maybe he'll be able to figure it out for Peyton Barber. And if Peyton Barber stays as the one, that's obviously useful. Now, it could end up being Rojo. That's entirely possible. I do like drafting Rojo. But right now, it could be Peyton Barber, and I'm feeling like he's a great pick at the back of the draft. I pick him pretty much every single time. I just smacked my mic. I'm so sorry. I'm going to go Peyton Barber here. After we went Peyton Barber, Golden Tate was picked, followed by Jarek McKinnon, Kiki Cootie, Phillip Rivers, Ito Smith, Curtis Samuel, Adrian Peterson, and Jameis Winston. AP is a guy I'm not really targeting because of the backfield in there. It's very confusing. It's him. It's Chris Thompson. There's another guy that they drafted, and there's and Darius Geis. So it's a fucking hellhole back there. But at the same time, if Adrian Peterson stays as the one, then obviously that has fantasy value, just like it did last year. So picking him, he could be a solid flyer, but I do stay away from him because I like other guys back here like Barber. And we currently have a shit ton of running backs. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 6 running backs and we got 4 wideouts. So we're gonna go one more wideout. And we're gonna go with someone else with super high upside that could end up being the number one on the team. And that guy is Deshaun Hamilton. Deshaun Hamilton has the upside of being the number one. He could be, even though Flacco is not all that good, or Locke may not be all that good this year, he could still end up putting up solid games like he did last year. And with the 13th round pick, pretty much your last real player pick, he's definitely worth a pick back here. Other honorable mentions, we got Traquan Smith, Moncrief, and Deshaun Jackson are guys I also like. So we're going to go with Deshaun Hamilton now. After we went to Deshaun Hamilton, Mecole Hardman was picked, followed by Chargers defense, Hawkinson, Tom Brady, James Washington, a bunch of kickers and defenses. I'll only say real players like I always do. So we're going to go with our pick. I'm going to go defense here. We're going to go with the best defense on the board, in my opinion, for the beginning of the year. Are they even available? Dallas Cowboys, yes. Okay, so what I was going to tell you is that the way you pick your defense is by going on Google, typing in NFL schedule week 1, and then you look at the defenses, right, that are playing shitty offenses, and that's the defense you pick. The Cowboys are playing shitty offenses the first couple of weeks. I believe the Giants are their week 1 matchup, so that's a shitty offense that's probably going to throw picks, and that means Dallas is going to be getting those pick points, and that's what you want on your team. Also, that's just how you're going to. And then week 2, the Cowboys have a good matchup again, so you don't have to drop them. But week 3 against, I think, the Dolphins, I'm a Dolphins fan, so I think they'll score some points, so I'd drop them for that, but maybe you want to keep them for that. And that's how you pick defenses. I'm going to make a video about it, so make sure you're subscribed for that. So we're going to go with the Cowboys here. After we went to Cowboys, a bunch of defenses were selected, followed by a bunch of a kicker, another kicker, and another kicker. So it's our pick, and we're going. You guessed it, kicker, and we're gonna go with the $1 million man, Robbie Gould, who got the bag. Not really the bag though. Not even $1 million, more than $1 million. He got franchise tagged, and we'll go him. I don't know much about kickers. You're gonna have to go find someone with kicker rankings to figure out which kicker you want, or just eliminate the kicker position from your league. So the receiver, Dante Moncrief was picked, followed by Deshaun Jackson, Emmanuel Sanders, and Dickie Dak Prescott. So our final roster is comprised of Matty Ice, David Johnson, Marlon Mack, Antonio Brown, Stefan Diggs, Zach Ertz, James White, kicker and a defense, and then our bench is Latavius Murray, Miles Sanders, Marvin Jones, D.D. Westbrook, Peyton Barber, and Deshaun Hamilton. So thank you guys all for watching the video. I hope you click the subscribe button that's on the screen right now. There's going to be Johnny Manziel throwing up the money sign. You're going to click that to subscribe, or you can go down below, click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave a comment, and also click on one of the videos that's on your screen right now. Click on one of those, watch one of those videos. You will not regret it. So have a great goddamn day, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.